Hey everyone, Brett Morehart with Morehart Fitness. Just figured I'd start a YouTube channel, do a little bit of working out, talk about what I do, how I can help, and kind of go from there. This is my first time, it's going to be super awkward, so bear with me. I'll explain things as I'm going on. Hopefully turn this into more of a knowledge-based questionnaire, answering questions, maybe have some people come in and work out and kind of podcasty thing. I don't know. I'm just overcoming a big fear of recording myself. I don't like being in front of a camera. I don't like the attention. I'd rather just watch from afar. So we're trying something new here. Hopefully to improve my own self-esteem and confidence. And overcome a barrier which you need to grow. So I'm going to get started here. First thing I'm doing is a ring face pull. It's really good for the rear delts and rotator cuff in your shoulder. Might be a little more advanced for more people, but I will come up with an easier workout. I just haven't worked out for 3 weeks because we've been packing and moving, and we've officially now into the new house. Have this new amazing space, which is ginormous compared to the old place. I got like 1,500 square feet, and the old place was 400, 500. So I have like an extra 1,000 square feet after I set all this stuff up. So I'll probably get some more equipment, expand the gym. We're starting fresh here. So kind of moved outside of the city to a smaller little town. Oh, those things burn. Wow. And so, yeah, everything's going to be a nice fresh start in a new space. And figured I would try something new as well, turn the page. Keep doing the same old thing. It's repetitive and kind of gets boring. So let's start a YouTube channel. Let's interact with more people. The whole goal for me is to help people. That's what I feel like I am part and belong into the world. I want to give that to you. Hopefully I can. So that was my warm-up. I really love hitting like a rear delt shoulder exercise just because I'm kind of weaker in those. From all the years of bench pressing, getting totally turned over. It's taken a lot of years to bring that posture back, so I like to keep it all nice and stabilized. Bringing that posture back also makes you stronger in all lifts. Things you would have, if you would have known when you were younger, right? So I've been doing this for 24, 25, 27 years. 27 years I've been in this workout space. Haven't always been a personal trainer, but always I've been working out since I was 13, and I've always written out programs for people, helped them along the way. Hasn't been until the last 7 years where I really dug into it and started making a living off of it. Just giving all that knowledge that, you spend all those years working out and improving yourself, and you gotta make all those mistakes, right? So the whole purpose of this is to give my 25, 27 years of knowledge and give it to you guys so you don't have to make the same mistake, because let's face it, if I was to start all over again, brand new, to get where I am today, I probably could have done it in 3 years to be in the shape that I am now. Instead, it just took an extra 24 to get there. So being in your 40s, probably in one of the best shapes I've been in my life in a very, very long time. But it took a lot of trial and error and persistence. You gotta put the time in, and you gotta record it. You can't just go in there thinking you know what you're doing and then just jumping from exercise to exercise. It just doesn't work that way. I know variety is the spice of life, but at the end of the day, if you want to get good at something, you have to just keep doing it. So if you want to get good at bench press, you gotta bench press, you know? You can't just sit there and hit the pec deck and expect to make your bench go up. Just like anything in life, guitar, that's what I'm trying to start now. Oh, I can't even do 30 seconds without my hands all cramping up, but it'll be another thing that I overcome. So next thing we're going to do here, I like to start off with a major lift, a compound lift, complex, which is fancy words for just saying it's using way more muscles than just one. That'd be an isolation exercise. So we're going to do the barbell hip thrust. It's going to help hit hamstrings, glutes, core, quads, depending on how you're lifting. I know you might not be able to see me down here, but bear with me. This is, like I said, it's my first time recording, so just getting everything adjusted. Okay, so a little about the hip thrust. I didn't have my little padding, so it kind of hurt a little bit. If this helps, I'm not as strong in those hip areas, so you know, any little cushion helps here. That was 185. It's a good place to be. I haven't worked out in a couple of weeks, like I said, because of the move. But a thing to explain about the hip thrust is how it can hit different muscles is all depending on where your legs are, the angle of your legs. All right, so this nice 90 degree here is going to be more glutes as you're driving through those heels. The further those toes go out over past the knees, more hamstrings. And the more your heel gets closer to your butt, and you actually have knees kind of over your toe, is going to be more quad. So you can manipulate which muscles hit more based on the angles that you're pressing with glutes, glutes, hammies, quads, and then anywhere in between. Tuck that chin, rib cage down, nice tight core. Drive through those heels. It's the hinge motion, which pushing those hips back. Essentially, as a deadlift, RDL, they're all the same. They're all that hip. Pressing those hips back. I was gonna get something here to show you, but give me 1 sec. There we go. So, if we're going to bring up the hinge, dowel is a good place to start. What I like to teach my clients, especially men, they suck at hinging. Women, you guys are phenomenal at it. The Q angle in your hips is just easier and for you guys to do. Men make it super complicated, but when you get this dowel, helps a little bit. So what you want to do, dowel kind of just above your butt cheeks. Hang that back. Little nodule in the back of your head. Okay. Kind of shoulder width stance. This can also vary depending on everybody's anatomy, but for now, this is kind of going to be a soft bend in the knee. What you're wanting to do is push those hips back behind you. Okay. Your chest and your butt are connected. Pushing them away. Chest comes down. As far as you can push those hips back, that's the end. You don't need to start now using rolling forward, or people will push their head forward. They'll kind of bend at the rib cage. It's all a nice straight line together. You'll be able to tell if people are arching their back, you know. You don't want that lower pressure on the lower back. It can cause a lot of pain, severely hurt yourself. It's actually use the muscles that are intended for the lift, which is your hamstrings, your glutes. Yeah, some of your erectors in your back, your core, quads a little, you know, but nothing, just the sheer force of bending over and putting all that into your lower spine. So we'll go back to another set here. Stay at the 185. I can already kind of feel it, so. I have really weak glutes. Don't really have a butt, but that's what I'm trying to grow. It's been one of my goals to try to grow the glutes. I play a lot of sports, a lot of lacrosse and running, and pretty fast. So growing those glutes and making them stronger will help out even more. Plus, it's just a little bit of change and something that I never really developed growing up, which was one of those other things where you kind of did the bro split, but kind of always skipped leg day. Don't do that. Yeah. I do have pretty strong legs, but could have totally done a lot more legs back in my day. But better late than never. Just record this here. Yeah, so in my programs, for myself personally now, I start off every workout with a leg, something leg. It's usually Bulgarian split squat one day, deadlift, sumo deadlift, I started doing that, and then this hip thrust, 3 sets, 6 to 12 reps depending on the day. Today will be probably higher reps for the lower weight just because I'm getting back into it. But then that way, I hit 9 sets of legs in the week. So that's enough, really. And I still have energy and can still play sports and not be super sore and really drive those muscles into the ground. So 3 times a week, full body for me, I've found to be the best over the years. Definitely the last 2 is when I've really focused on it. And it's been amazing. If I was to start all over, that's how I would do it. I'd have so much more energy back then instead of spending, 2 to 4 hours a day at the gym. Now I'm like an hour and a half. All depending on, how heavy I go. I like to take some time and catch my breath. A couple of minutes, the heavier you go, the longer breaks you should take. Kind of the 2 to 3 minute mark is kind of where I hover. But that being said, it all depends on what we're doing. If we're doing a really heavy chest day, really heavy deadlift day, squat day, probably 5 minutes, 5 to 7. But at the end of the day, despite what everybody tells you or you hear, and some people might knock this, but it doesn't really matter how much you lift. It's just about taking those muscles to almost failure, to fatigue, to 1 or 2 reps in reserve, to just really send that stimulus into building, recruiting, getting better at a certain thing, reprogramming that brain. Failure is great every once in a while, but then you're just really tearing yourself down. And I don't understand why you'd want to do that, because then you're not going to be able to walk or move or function in day-to-day life. And for the average person, you don't need that unless you're like, I don't know, a bodybuilder, or, you got just a lot of extra help coming in for recovery. It's just not worth it. So if you're in that, 30 plus, you're getting older, growth hormones down, bodies are changing, maybe your metabolism slowing down, kids, just busy life. 3 times a week is absolutely insane. 2 times you'll get great results. I have lots of clients who do 2 times a week and have phenomenal results. Yes, it takes a little longer, but it's what they can do in their schedules, which fits for them. And at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do. You're just trying to help yourself one day at a time with what you can and with the time that you have. Everybody's busy. I know. I have 2 kids. There's a lot of driving around, a lot of helping other people, but gotta make a little bit of time for yourself. Whew. And that's where these whole full body workouts come in very handy. Get them done in an hour, twice a week, and have great results. That was a little more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Okay. Thanks again for hanging with me. If you're still here, it's probably not going to be the most fun YouTube video, kind of just watching me work out while I talk to myself. But if you are still here, thanks again. You're helping me overcome a big fear of mine. So thank you for your support. Hope to one day, obviously, get better at this and really focus on helping people. That is my main goal. In any way, shape, or form. Okay. Deadlifts are done. I'm going to work on single arm rear delt cable flies. So just as the name entitles, the rear delt. Hitting the little muscle in the back of the shoulder here. It really gives the shoulders the 3D look from the side. It's rear delt. Kind of makes them pop. Right? So, how I like to rock this guy. I like to put her up high. I like to reach across my face and drive that elbow as far back behind my body as possible. Whoa. 12. I like to hit these guys with a little higher reps. Wow. 12. So it's 44 pounds there. The reason why I like doing them on the cables compared to, I guess, bands or even rings, I was kind of doing the same thing. I can get a lot more stabilization when I'm stable against the rig and pulling across, so I can actually lift more weight. And at the end of the day, the more stable you are, your body is, the more output you're going to be able to produce. So That's why you could maybe squat 225 with the barbell. Then you go in the leg press and you rock out 500. Because the machine itself is stabilizing you. So you can generate a lot more output and strength because you're stable and supported. You can also push into the machine, you know. Squat is kind of all you. You have to balance yourself. And that's kind of why they're complex movements. They're the hardest ones. So many muscles are needed to recruit and fire together to make you stronger at those. So your squat, your deadlift, your bench press, your pull-ups, your lunges, you know, those big movements that just hit a lot of muscles, a lot of core stability, which is another big thing as well. A lot of people neglect their core. Don't do that. Do walking lunges or farmer's carries or cable crunches, planks. There's so many good workouts out there to hit the core, just even if it's a little bit. It goes a long way, especially for your big lifts. Another thing I didn't do when I was younger, so I'm trying to catch up now. All right, round 2. Oh man. That's good weight. 44 pounds. Everything's feeling a little rusty from a little time off, but definitely feels good to be working out again. You can go a little crazy when you get into a habit and then kind of gets thrown out of whack, moving life, but you just gotta get back to it, right? It's that consistency, the finding that why again, you know? So for me, the very first thing that I need to know out of my client is the reason why. Why are you here? Why are you doing this? What's so important in that you have to work out, you know? Get fit, get in shape, get healthy. Those are all just BS, you know? Just some story that you're telling yourself, which you're lying. You're lying to yourself, essentially, you know? It's not true. I want to hear the truth. That's the first step. The real reason why. You know? So, you don't like what you look like in the mirror. That's a pretty good, deep-seated reason why. You don't like what you see in the mirror. Not that you want to get in shape or you want to be healthy. That's not the reason. Unless the doctor tells you you're going to die, unless you do certain things. But that's also another good reason why. Your health, actual health. Not just you don't like what you look like, so you're going to say that you want to get healthy. You'll never get far in that. You have to really find the deep root inside so that you can always come back to it. Get that emotion tied to it. You'll stay connected even when motivation fails, because it will, promise you. Motivation will be here 1 week and gone for 5. And then you have to struggle through everything. But that why will get you through. So, a little bit about me. My personal why is body dysmorphia. If you don't know what that is just like there's always something wrong with your body. You can find ways to pick it apart. You just look ugly and disgusting and fat and never happy. So that is one of my deep-seated evils that I'm still conquering to this day. Definitely better at it now that I'm older. I've adapted it to where it's not overtaking my every thought and my all reason for being and working out. I've just done it for so long that I've enjoyed the process, found my journey, and realized that there's some things I can and cannot change. My body is what it is. I can't grow taller. I can't change where my nipples are. Some things you just can't change. And over that time, I've kind of persevered. It's still there. Don't get me wrong. Some days are better than others. But I've also wrapped myself with a good group of people who kind of keep me up. And by giving back to people like you, that also helps, And then the other reason is for my kids. I want to be a granddad, hopefully one day, for my wife. She's the most amazing person on the planet. And I want to spend as many minutes and as much time with her as possible. And then just for myself to, I made a promise to myself that I would never give in to the darkness, that creeps in. It's taken me many times, a lot of times that I can't count, but luckily, the last couple of years, changing my routine, changing my diet, changing the people I surround myself with, has really had a very positive impact on my mental health. Holy. As well as just being more open and honest with people and myself and communicating better. So there's a lot of things going on in my why. But that's just a little insight to me. One of my biggest things is trying to help other people go through their struggles, which we all have. I think this is 12. You know what? I might have miscounted on both those sets, but it's hard to talk and work out at the same time. But, one of my big things I thought I would just really enjoy helping people overcome their struggles, especially if they're closely related to mine, which almost every client I've had has been in the same kind of boat in one way or another. So being in somebody's corner and just helping them get through it brings me joy, honestly. It's what I'm here for in this world. I truly believe that I can, if I can change one person's life, even through this video or the ones to come, I feel like I've already changed a couple of people's lives just in their journeys over the few years. It means the world. Like, there's nothing that is better, than a client texting you and being like, hey, I'm down another 5, or I know I'm on my own now. Thank you so much for showing me the ropes. I'm continuing my journey, and I've finally hit my goal that I wanted. Getting a client to do their first pull-up or their first dip. 2 super ridiculously hard things to do that a lot of people in the world can't. And they just kept pushing and pushing and, thanking me for being in their corner. All those things money can't buy. Yes, money's great, but it's about that giving to other humans and that connection at the end of the day that really matters to me. There's not a lot of money to be made, or so they say, or it's what I was told in the fitness industry. And I don't think that's true. I think you can make money by helping and connecting people. It's not the ultimate goal. Of course, it would be to, become wealthy off of helping people. But if it was to happen, it would have to be in a pure, real way. And that's what I'm trying to give to people. I'm not going to sell you junk, supplements, anything like that. Maybe some swag, because, you know, it's pretty cool. It really makes me happy when I see some of my clients wearing it out and posting it on social media. So that part's pretty cool, but I don't want to give you guys any BS. It's all just going to be straight truths from my opinion, from the experience that I've had training for the last 27 years, plus my clients. And that's it. I'm not going to get into science too much. I'm not going to get into any of the banter of what this person says or that person says, because it's just my opinion that I've done the research on. I've done the trials and errors. It's worked time and time again. I don't even know how many that was, but I'm gonna call it 10. That's tough. So that's what you're gonna get from me. I'm gonna do my best to teach you what I know and pass on that knowledge, and hopefully you can achieve what you're looking for faster than I did at the end of the day. That was tough. Sorry about this extra noise if you can hear it up there. Guess nobody got the memo when I said I was going to be recording and should be quiet. Life, right? But this is just the first video, so things are supposed to go wrong. It's supposed to be a learning curve. But yeah, that's definitely where you should start if you're still here. Figure out your why, because you'll truly need that. Motivation will die, and your why will get you through. Oh, it must really be dirty up there. I don't know what's going on. Like, whew. I'd like to say a vacuum, but it kind of just sounds like someone's doing snow angels up there. Yeah. So you got your why. Super number one, main important factor. Oh, what are we doing here? Do another set. Okay. What comes after your why? Well, I would call it a triangle. I would say why, discipline, and consistency. I would say are the three things. So consistency or discipline go hand in hand. They are different things. Consistency is clearly what it says, is you just keep doing it, keep going more times than not. Because a terrible workout program done consistently will out-achieve the perfect program done once a week. So it does matter, you know. You can't take that away. And this is what I'm just trying to tell people all the time, is just do it. Just do something, you know. There's more times than not. Discipline is doing it even on the days that you hate it, but pretending like you love it. It's the grit. It's the grind. The alarm clock goes off, and instead of hitting snooze, you just get up and do it. You know, you make it just a promise to yourself, non-negotiable. That's it just has to happen. Okay, so you put that in there with your consistently doing that and the actual reason of why you're doing it all, and you're unstoppable. Nothing will ever get in your way no matter what it is, not just working out, just in life. It's a lot easier said than done though, And that's why we track things, and that's why we write it down, and that's why those are the first 3 steps. I haven't even started working out yet. You just kind of, you just got 3 things that you're, going to promise to yourself what you're going to do. So really, it's kind of the blueprint of your start of your journey. The why, the discipline, the consistency. That's your triangle throughout your whole life. Things are starting to stray. You just reflect on that triangle of the walls and which one's a little shifted more, and then you kind of fix it as you go. Which brings you to the next part, is the plan, the program, the journey itself. Where are you going to go from here? What are we going to do? That is, at the end of the day, where everybody somehow gets lost. But you don't need to, because you can't really get lost if you're doing something. The only way you can get lost is if you don't have a plan. Now, I don't remember the direct quote from Alice in Wonderland, but something similar to Alice running into a Cheshire Cat, and she says she's lost and she doesn't know where she's going. And then, and he says, Cheshire Cat says something like, well, that all depends on where you're going. And she replies, I don't care much where. And then he says, and then it doesn't matter which way you go. In essence, he's just saying, if you don't have a plan, it doesn't matter which way you go. So have a plan. Where do you want to go? What is important to you? Now that's most important. So for my clients, you build them a program based on the things that are important to them, not the things that are important to me. There are some things where I tell them we're doing it because it's just overall good for them. But for the most part, I listen and I adjust. If they want to do more chest, then we do it. But we're still going to hit a lot more back, just kind of balance it out. But first you need to come up with that plan. Once you have that plan, you need to record it. Because you need to be able to know if you're progressing or not. And the next thing is you need to record it long enough, 4 to 12 weeks, to actually see if there's some change. So many people just willy-nilly a workout. They go into the gym and they hit this and they hit that and they hit this and they hit that. And they don't ever hit that exercise again for another week or two. And they go, well, I'm not getting stronger in this. And it's like, how many times have you done it? 3? Oh. Yeah, you're right. You should probably be bench pressing 225 pounds if you've only bench pressed 3 times in your entire life. Valid point. No. Doesn't matter. Everything in life needs to be tracked, recorded, progressed. You learn from your mistakes. I can give you all the tools and all the knowledge, but if you don't pick them up and use them, you might not become successful. And every person's different as well. I'm, for somebody, really strong in bench press or pressing movements, super weak in shoulder press, as you just seen. Like I'm doing the 55s, which may be impressed for some people, but to me, not really, because I can dumbbell press the 150s and stuff, so it's just, but everybody has their own weaknesses, and you just have to find them, and you don't know them until you look for them, jot them down, record them, and then make your plans to improve them. And at the end of the day, I think that's what everybody wants. Lifting like me might not get you looking like me, and that could be diet-wise, genetic-wise, height-wise, so many different factors that we don't ever really take into consideration. We tend to just look at people and want to be like them, but don't even know their story. And you strive to be this person that you don't even know, especially fitfluencers and Instagram and magazines and TV. It's like, you don't even know anything about that person other than what their body looks like. You don't know what they're eating. You don't know their mental state to even look like that, because trust me, when you get lean enough, it is hard. Mentally tough to be starving yourself to look a certain way. The social life that you lose out on because you're not going out with friends, you're not drinking alcohol, you're not going out to eat, sitting around a bar drinking water, not that fun. You lose a lot of friends who then don't even call you anymore because they know you're just going to say no, or you're going to be a Debbie Downer. Another thing that I've learned in life. Now, I don't drink all that much anymore. I eat a whole lot better, but the people that I surround myself with now support it. They don't care. They're like, oh, you're not drinking? Awesome. Good for you, More for me. I can drive them around. I could be part of it, social life, and get them home and make sure they're safe. But I can also be a good time. It's not I think for me it was more of a crutch. You drink a little bit, you open up a little bit more, Yeah. I've always been outgoing, but more in like an awkward way, because I don't like silence. So if you do know who I am personally, I do talk a lot, and it's not because I'm super friendly. It's because when it goes quiet, the thoughts in my head, they start going on, and it's a scary place to be sometimes. So I gotta talk, keep the people engaged, keep my brain stimulated. Yeah, that's kind of another one of those kind of whys, I guess. Deeper rooted meanings. That's the gym, though. Working out here. I'm talking to you guys right now, but it's like the safe space. Everything goes quiet here, except for this vacuum or whatever's going on, so I apologize. Yeah, it's just like peace, lifting weights, being in tune with your body, intentional with your lifts, breath work. This is a zen, It's my home. I found it a very long time ago, and it's definitely saved my life. Oh, fuck. Many times over. So if you do struggle with mental health, depression, anything along those lines, I'm here for you. I love you. You're not alone. Just about cried. But I'm here, and if you ever need anything, reach out. You can get a hold of me, moreheartfitness.ca. Text me, 403-921-0427. Maybe that was a terrible thing to do because it's going online, but that's okay because I'm here to help. If you're texting for a prank, not cool. But if you're texting for help, I'll be here. And I just want you to know that you are loved. You do belong. No matter what you think right now, life does get better. It's just a little small step in your life. Just another 2 or 3 and you're going to see the beautiful light, and it's all going to make sense. Not enough of the mushy stuff. I'm going to go see what's next on my list because I kind of forgot because I've been just chatting away here. think that was 3 sets. Pretty sure I only did 10 on the last one because I'm weak. Okay. Let's go bench press. So just give you a little bit of insight of kind of my program and what I'm doing. Obviously, this is all based on me and my goals. But even for my clients, I break it down into a way that they all should be able to one day start create and work on their own programs. You always do, like I said at the beginning, always do the complex, the hardest movements first. So that's going to be my deadlifts, my squat, my pull-ups, my bench press, lunges, that kind of stuff. Stuff that uses more of my body to stabilize itself. Let's get that out of the way because I need the most energy to do that, okay? And then I break it down to the next phase of maybe it goes into a bench press with dumbbells or a dumbbell shoulder press, something that's not as hard, like a standing overhead press is way harder than a sitting down dumbbell press that I just did, right? Because I can more stable on the bench, I can use that kind of force. And then at the end, that's when I do like the isolations or cables and machines. They all have a place. And this is just the way I like to do them because you do the hardest thing, second hardest thing, and then the cables and machines you do at the end, which are easier, but you can also make them hard, right? Because when you get closer down to that fatigue level, you can crank up the weight on the machine because you have more stability, you can produce more force, you can actually lift heavier weight, but it's also safer because you're in that machine. If you just let it go, it'll fall and clink, but nothing is going to really, you're not really going to get hurt in the machine. They're a lot safer, right? Than if you're doing a squat and you fail, or a deadlift, right? There's so many more ways and risks of injury. So complex movements, super hard, broken into your more stabilized, maybe a leg press, dumbbell press on a bench, shoulder press, that kind of stuff. And then into like your ham curls, your pec decks, all the things with the machines. There's so many, the rows, everything that you can do there. That's kind of how I break it down. It's usually between 4 to 6 exercises in a workout, which usually is about an hour. And then I like to throw a core in there at the end, whether it's a ab roller, leg raises. I think I'm doing ab roller, leg raises, and then cable crunches. So 3 sets of 3 after each workout. So like what's today? Today we got barbell hip thrust, rear delt flies, shoulder press, dumbbell press, lateral raises, and ab roller. So what's that, 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Yeah. So there you go. 6 exercises, 3 sets. That's what? 6 times 3 is 18. 5. I don't know. Not really good at math right now. Alexa, play Pop Rocks on Sirius XM. But yeah, gonna roughly knock it out in an hour 15, 20. It's being a little longer. I'm talking here, so. But essentially, that's how I would build any plan for anybody, including myself. And I think it works amazing. But it all depends on you and your goals. And that's kind of what I'm going to try to get out over these next videos is just helping you find what they are and coming up with the plan and piecing it all together and then sticking it out and seeing. It's all about the journey. It takes so much longer than you think. And you just can't give up. think that's 12. Oh. So yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm gonna wrap it up for the first video. It's already been like almost an hour, and at the end of the day, this was just a trial and error. Don't really need to watch me work out anymore, unless you want to, but maybe that's for another day. If you did watch this, maybe you have some ideas or questions, and I can answer them next time, or show you an exercise that I like. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Brett Moorhart, Moorhart Fitness. You guys have a wonderful day.